Roswell, UFOs, flying saucers, alien abduction, this and many other questions about the unknown are only a click away at www.theufostore.com. The UFOstore.com offers hundreds of DVDs about UFOs, aliens, crop circles, conspiracies, Bigfoot, suppressed science, ancient mysteries. Log on to www.theufostore.com and request a free UFO Store catalog. The UFOstore.com, the largest selection of UFO products on the internet.
Good day and awesome to see you return. This is a new episode of Paranormally Speaking, and I'm your host, Neil Parks. This week, I will be discussing the great UFO purge, erased files, a hidden craft too big to move, and the truth that they fear. Now, when I say they, that's a broad statement, but you get the gist. Something went very wrong, though. We are not easing into this one, because what you are about to hear is not just another UFO story. This is a collision between government, secrecy, religion, science, power, and something that may not belong to our world at all. 3,800,000 files. That's a lot of zeros. 3,800,000 files gone. A craft so massive it couldn't be moved, hidden inside a mountain. A congressman warned he could be killed. A government insider who cried himself to sleep every night after learning the truth. And a growing divide inside the United States military itself over whether the phenomenon is alien or demonic. The night the files disappeared, I'm going to start with that. Let's start with the moment everything changed. A massive online vault, one that had held decades of UFO reports, images, radar data, and classified adjacent documentation, was suddenly wiped clean in the early part of March. 3.8 million files, not corrupted, not partially missing, just completely gone. And the timing? Only hours after Donald Trump, as much as I hate the guy, only hours after Donald Trump reportedly pushed for those files to be released to the public. Obviously a deflection from the Epstein files. But then, let's think about that. For years, this database had been stable. Researchers accessed it daily. Investigators, journalists, independent analysts, they all relied on it. Then suddenly nothing. A clean slate, as if it never existed. And here's what makes this so chilling. Large-scale government databases don't just accidentally erase millions of records. That kind of deletion requires high-level access, authorization, and intent. Which raises the question, was this a failure, or was it a panic response to Trump's statement of releasing everything to the general population? All of the secrets, all of the evidence, even where these things are coming from, what they want, and what they've been bringing here. What was in those files? We'll never know for sure, but based on what we've already seen trickle out over the years, those files likely contained military pilot encounters, radar tracking data, underwater anomaly reports, satellite imagery, first-hand accounts from trained observers, and possibly evidence that doesn't fit into any known category of human technology. Because here's what multiple officials are now saying. Some of these objects don't behave like machines. They behave like something else. And that starts a war raging within the Pentagon. And not only is there a war going on for our minds, the war going on inside the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, an absolute idiot, confirmed that efforts are underway to release UFO information. But he also warned, this won't happen quickly. Why, you ask? Because inside the Pentagon, there is reportedly a deep divide. On one side, those pushing for transparency, and on the other, a faction that believes releasing this information could be spiritually dangerous. Yes, spiritually. According to insiders, some officials, particularly those with strong evangelical beliefs, are convinced that the UFO phenomenon is not extraterrestrial. They believe it to be interdimensional and demonic in nature. To them, this is not about disclosure. This is about opening a door that should remain closed. Now, the interdimensional origins, Eric Burleson, congressman, has been at the center of this storm. He has confirmed that classified testimony already points towards interdimensional explanations, not spacecraft traveling from distant galaxies, but entities capable of existing outside our understanding of space and time. Former Pentagon investigator Luis Elizondo once revealed that a senior official told him to stop investigating UFOs and instead read his Bible. Why? Because that certain official believed the phenomenon was demonic in nature. And there's a warning of death. While pursuing leads, Burleson was warned by someone with special forces and intelligence background. Remove certain names from your investigation, never speak of them again. Because if you do, they will have no problem having you killed. That is not speculation, and that is not rumor. That is a sitting congressperson recounting a direct warning, and it suggests something deeply unsettling. There may be individuals or groups operating within or alongside government structures who will do anything to keep this hidden. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a craft that is too big to move. Now I get to one of the most explosive revelations yet. In a recent interview, Congressman Burleson confirmed something UFO researchers have whispered about for decades. There is allegedly a massive craft hidden in a foreign country. It is so large it could not be moved. Instead, authorities have built an enormous structure around it that seek in. Not transported, not dismantled, but contained. The site is now reportedly on Burleson's list of locations he is requesting access to from the White House. And this aligns with claims made by disclosure advocate Stephen Greer. Greer has long stated that a massive extraterrestrial vehicle was brought down near Seoul in South Korea. According to his account, the craft was disabled using electronic warfare. It was too large to transport, and authorities carved out part of a mountain to contain it. A mountain, hollowed out to hide something not made by us. And there's connections and whistleblowers, such as Burleson and Greer. They're not strangers. They met at a major UFO conference in Mexico City in 2025, along with whistleblowers and insiders. And now, Burleson is reportedly working with Dave Grush as an advisor. Grush, as many of you know, has already testified under oath about non-human craft, retrieval programs, and reverse engineering efforts. For the first time, we are seeing independent claims, government testimony, and political action converging. And then there was the man who couldn't sleep. Let me talk about one of the most haunting stories in this entire episode. Hollywood producer Brent Friedman recounts a personal encounter and an experience with a man named John Harrington, a close family friend, a disciplined, moral, straight-edge lawyer who worked on Ronald Reagan's 1980 campaign. After Reagan took office, Harrington received a classified government appointment. He moved to Virginia, and when Friedman saw him again, he was different. He arrived with a Secret Service escort, a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist, and a look of deep, crushing weight. That night, something happened that Friedman never forgot. Harrington, who never drank, pulled out a bottle of whiskey and started drinking heavily. Then pressed about his work. He finally admitted something. Before starting his position, he had undergone months of briefings in an underground facility in West Virginia. And during that time, he said he cried himself to sleep every night. When Friedman asked why, Harrington said, This is not the world I thought I was bringing my daughters into. And then after more pressure, he revealed the truth that haunted him. Aliens are real, they are here, and I've seen them. Now the bigger system, with physicist Eric Weinstein, believes this is part of something much larger, a hidden structure of power that connects UFO secrecy, advanced science, intelligence operations. He even suggests connections to figures like Jeffrey Epstein, who he believes acted as a kind of science intelligence collector, gathering knowledge from top researchers in fields tied to cryptozoology, cryptography, gravity, advanced propulsion, and possibly technologies we don't yet understand. Because many of the people involved in these black ops operations and these organizations and committees are of the elite groups that spent time at Epstein Island and have been named and implicated in not only child rape, but human trafficking, the rape of women, young girls, cannibalism, and murder. The invisible force. Weinstein also discusses reports of a mysterious private air force, a unit that appears without warning, destroys or confiscates UFO monitoring equipment, and then completely disappears. No markings, no official record. Possibly linked to covert programs within intelligence agencies, which raises a terrifying possibility. There are operations happening in our skies that don't officially exist.
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you. And your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
And there's no question that what we have learned and what we will more than likely learn in the coming months about the UAP, UFO phenomenon, and links to other life forms will completely change a whole universal outlook on things. Whether it be for the better or the worse, these are things that have been kept from us for decades, if not centuries. Now, are these aliens or something else? Contactee Chris Bledsoe claims he was shown two futures for humanity. In one, powerful individuals deliberately trigger events described in the book of Revelation, an engineered Armageddon. In the other, humanity awakens, rejects manipulation, and moves towards something better. He described a battle between dark, parasitic entities and beings of light, a spiritual war, if you will, playing out through human systems. Now, so here we are. Files have been erased, craft hidden inside mountains, insiders breaking down emotionally, officials divided over whether this is science or something biblical. So I have to leave you with this. Are we dealing with extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, or something humanity has encountered before, but described in a different language? Angels, demons, messengers, deceivers. Because even if a fraction of this is true, then the greatest secret in human history is not just that we are not alone. It's that we may have never been alone to begin with. The line we were never meant to cross. So here we stand at the edge of something we don't fully understand. Not just a mystery, but a boundary. A line that humanity may have been approaching for a very long time, quietly, unknowingly, step by step, and maybe, just maybe, we were never supposed to cross it. Because think about everything we've laid out in this episode. What I followed so far, 3.8 million files erased in an instant. No leak, not exposed, not debated, simply erased. Obviously stored somewhere else without any access from the outside world. That's not transparency, that is confusion. That's removal. That's the kind of action you take when something isn't just sensitive, it's too dangerous to reveal. A craft so massive it couldn't be moved, hidden inside a mountain near Seoul in South Korea? Ask yourself, what kind of technology requires you to carve into the earth just to hide it? And more importantly, what kind of presence was inside of that thing? Because we keep talking about the craft, but we rarely ask the harder question, what was piloting it? A congressman like Eric Burleson being warned that he could be killed just for asking questions? Let that settle in. This isn't fringe anymore. This isn't late night radio theory. This is an elected official being told there are names, people, and individuals you do not investigate. If you want to stay alive, so who are they? What authority do they operate under? Sounds like Men in Black. And why does this subject, above all others, trigger that level of fear? Then there's the man who couldn't sleep, the insider who broke down night after night, crying himself into exhaustion, not because of stress, not because of pressure, not because of what he learned, because whatever he saw and whatever he was told, it shattered his understanding of reality so completely that he looked at the world and his own children and realized, this is not the world I thought it was. And then we hit the deepest fracture of all, inside the very institutions meant to protect and inform us. There is no agreement. There is no unified explanation. There is only division. On one side, science, technology, and physics. On the other, scripture, prophecy, and spiritual warfare. Some believe these are visitors from distant stars. Others believe they are something far older, far more sinister, something humanity has encountered before, but didn't call aliens. They called them angels or demons. Maybe that's the part that should stop you cold in your tracks, because what if both sides are right in their own way, in ways we don't yet understand? What if this phenomenon doesn't fit into a single category? What if it isn't just extraterrestrial, and it isn't just spiritual, but something that exists between those definitions? Something that can appear physically, but isn't bound by physics or spiritual law. Something that can influence thought, perception, and reality itself. Now add one more layer, the idea presented by people like Chris Bledsoe, that there are forces actively shaping the direction of humanity, not passively observing, not waiting, not guiding events, influencing leaders, pushing outcomes, and possibly even steering us toward an ending, or at least a crossroads. Because that's what this reality feels like, doesn't it? A crossroads, two paths, one driven by fear, control, secrecy, and manipulation. The other by understanding, by truth, by the willingness to confront something that may change what it means to be human. Here's the question no one in power seems willing to ask. Are we being protected from something? Or are we being protected from the truth? Because those are not the same thing. Not even close. If the phenomenon is real, and at this point too many credible voices say it is, then the implications are staggering. It means our understanding of reality is incomplete, our history may be misunderstood, our place in existence is not what we have been led to believe. And maybe the most unsettling part of it all, it means there are people who know this, who have known this for a long time, and who have made the decision that we should not know. And here's the thing about truth. You can't delay it. You can't bury it. You can erase millions of files, but you can't kill it forever, because truth has a way of surfacing. And whistleblowers and testimony and leaked footage and stories that refuse to go away. So maybe what we're witnessing right now isn't the end of secrecy, but it's the beginning of something else. A slow, uneven, sometimes dangerous, but unstoppable movement toward revelation. And if that's true, then the real question isn't whether disclosure is coming. It's this: are we ready for when it does? Because if the answers behind those erased files, that buried spacecraft, those classified briefings, and those sleepless nights are even particularly true, then humanity is not on the verge of discovering something new. We're on the verge of remembering something ancient, something we once knew but lost, or we were made to forget. This has been Paranormally Speaking with Neil Parks. I'll leave you with this. If the truth is being hidden, it's not just because of what it reveals about them. It's because of what it reveals about us. And once you see that truth, you can't go back. You can't. Because the world you thought you lived in was never the real one to begin with. This is Neil Parks, signing off.
Yeah, I see the wolves in the pulpits, crowns made of lies, preaching heaven while they weaponize the disguise. Politicians with a Bible and a blood-stained grin say God's will while they cashing on sin. I hear the prayers, but they echo through a hollow dome, built on greed, not a single stone of the holy throne. They twist the word like a blade, let it sever the weak, then baptize the damage, call it turn the other cheek. Nah, this ain't faith, this a theater of control, where the righteous get silenced and the wicked take the role. See, the script's been flipped, now the lies wear the crown, and the truth gets crucified every time it comes around. How many times they gon' sell us salvation while they feast on fear, divide the nation? False prophets dressed in gold and silk, drinking from the people like it's mother's milk. We rise. No more chains on our soul tonight. No more king hiding truth in the holy light. We fight. Tear the veil, let the truth ignite. Take it back, this our God-given right. We rise. Hear the roar, hear the people cry. No more fear, no more living the lie. We fight. Bring the darkness into the flame. They don't know God, don't you dare say his name. Presidents speak with the serpents in the speech. Every promise counterfeit, just out of reach. They shake hands with devils in a tailored suit, then declare divine order while they poison the fruit. Yeah, I'm done with the circus, done with the mask, done watching evil hide behind a holy task. You don't get to preach love while you profit from pain. Don't get to say Christ while you build your reign. You ever read the red letters? He flipped the tables. Now imagine what he do to these modern fables. Mega church empires, tax-free deception, while the poor stay chained in spiritual recession. They don't want truth, they want blind devotion. Keep you drowning in fear like a poison ocean. But the fire's alive and it's breaking through, and the kingdom of God ain't known by you. We rise. No more chains on our soul tonight. No more king hiding truth in the holy light. We fight. Tear the veil, let the truth ignite. Take it back, this our God-given right. We rise. Hear the roar, hear the people cry. No more fear, no more living a lie. We fight. Bring the darkness into the flame. They don't know God, don't you dare say his name. This ain't rebellion, this revival of truth. This that fire in the bones, this the voice of the youth. This that moment where the silence breaks apart, where the spirit hits heavy and it shatters the dark. You can't kill what's eternal, cage what's divine. You can bury the truth, but it'll rise every time. So we stand, no fear, no compromise left, with a lion in our chest and his name in our breath. Yeah, expose every lie, every hidden decree, every backroom deal they don't want you to see. Every holy war funded under the table, every crooked translation just to keep you unstable. We the remnant unchained, unbarred away. Feel the ground start to shift with every step we take. This ain't left, this ain't right, this is deeper than size. This is spirit versus evil, where the real war resides. No more idols and suits, no more thrones built on fear. No more puppets with crutches, puppeteering the year. We the voice they suppress, we the spark they ignore. Now the fire's at the gate and we're kicking the door. We let it burn.
stolen.